Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to all who are present here today. It is a pleasure to have you all in this beautiful Saturday morning, and welcome to the Master of Architecture Offshore Program Open Day 2022, Reskilling Resilient Graduates with Ongoing Education. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Isaac, and I will be moderating the session today. And I'm glad to welcome our honorable guest speaker for today, Architect Elina Rahman, Director of DP Architects. We also have with us today our invited alumni, Mr. Yuzairul Azwan Yusof from MRCB Builders and Mr. Nick Muhammad Moaz, Nick Yusof from Izwan Hizan Architects. Together with us, the Head of Architecture Program, Associate Professor Dr. Ali Sabrina, my fellow colleagues, UTM lecturers, and of course, the students of Master of Architecture Offshore UTM. Thank you for attending our open day, and please make yourself comfortable as we move along with our program this morning. Now, before we go further into the procession of our event, may I invite to invoke the Almighty, and with this, I would like to invite Dr. Aiman for Doa recitation to bless our event this morning. Dr. Aiman.
Okay, thank you, Isaac. Okay, let me just open up this. Okay, Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Hamdan yuafi ni'amahu wa yukafi mazidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal karim wa azim sultanik. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma innaka nas'aluka khairan hadha al-yawm, fatahu wa nasruhu wa nuruhu wa barakatahu wa huda. All praise is due to the Almighty God Allah, the cherisher, the sustainer of the world. May the peace and mercy of Allah be upon His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, companions, and followers. Verily, we have assembled this day to express our gratitude for your blessings, O Allah. Make us your servants who are always grateful for the blessings that have been bestowed upon us. On this blessed morning, we gathered in conjunction with the Master of Architecture Offshore Program, Open Day 2022, Reskilling Resilient Graduates with Ongoing Education. O Allah, we beg you to open our doors of your mercy and unfold for us the treasure of knowledge that we are seeking for us to develop our potential. As your servant, whom you are pleased with, by your mercy, O Allah, the most merciful of the most merciful ones. ربنا تقبلنا إنك أنت السميع العليم ربنا تب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين. Over to you.
Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you, Dr. Aiman, for the Dua recitation. So before we begin, let me explain in brief regarding the procession of our event today. For the initiation, we're going to have a welcoming remark by our program director. And after that, we're going to have a sharing session with our guest speaker, Architect Elina Rahman, with the title Reskilling Resilient Graduates with Ongoing Education. Subsequently, we're going to have another sharing session with our offshore program alumni, Zairul Azwan Yusof and Nick Muhammad Muaz Nick Yusof, followed by the program review for Master of Architecture Offshore Program by the program coordinator. And finally, after that, we're going to have an official launching of Master of Architecture Offshore Program website before we end our session today. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite UTM Architecture Program Director, Associate Professor Dr. Ali Sabrina Ismail for the welcoming remark. So please welcome Dr. Alice if you are ready.
Yep, okay, thank you so much, Dr. Isik, for being the moderator for this morning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning, selamat pagi, salam satu Malaysia dan salam UTM Sanjungan Bangsa. Firstly, I would like to thank the honorable guest, Architect Elina Rahman from DP Architects and the alumni UTM, Mr. Yuzairul Azwan Yusof from MRCB Builders and Nick Muhammad Muaz Nick Yusof from Izwan Nizam Architect for accepting the UTM Architecture School invitation. It is such an honor to have the three of you in this virtual gathering. So, and A warm welcome also to the academic architecture staff, students, and all who participate in today's occasion. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, the offshore architecture program is vital actually to increase the LAMPART to graduates to compete with the current global trends at the local context to fulfill the industry employability aligned with the aspirational needs of PPPM-PT, which is the Development of Education Policy Plan for the Higher Learning Institution to achieve the 10 paradigm shift. So, in addition, this offshore program is also viable to produce professional Part 3 architects, which can fulfill the needs of the country's building industry in parallel with the country's policy of Dasar Wawasan Kemakmuran Bersama 2030. So, aligned with today's program about the webinar talking about the career development, especially for the offshore students, we can see that this offshore architecture program is also unique because it does not only offer the only one in Malaysia, which offers an alternative platform for the working individuals in the architecture field to expand the academic qualification at the master's level LAMPART 2 by providing many learning opportunities while the students working full time, because this offshore program approach is resilient and the pedagogical method that we adopt in UTM focuses on practice-based experience with academic learning. So this actually empowers the FRC pedagogy, which is the future ready curriculum and in flow with the needs of the future trend learning that provide great opportunities for individuals from variety of backgrounds and age groups. So currently UTM Architecture School is very proud of this offshore program, and we have almost 70 working full-time students enrolling in this program who have high ambition to become graduate architects and soon to be Part 3 architects serving the nation. So kudos and well done everyone. So in this year 2021, last year also UTM Architecture School is ranked by the QS World Ranking by subject as the top 100 globally, and we are also the top 1 architecture school in the country, leading at the forefront. So UTM have the best architecture curriculum and will continuously aim to produce the best among the best graduates as professional architects and leaders for the country. Therefore, I would like to express congratulations and well done to those new students joining the UTM Architecture School. So you should be proud of yourself to be selected from the many applicants through an extensive selection process and be given the best opportunity to be in the leading architecture school in the country. Because this week is actually the first week starting for these all offshore students and also for the offshore program for semester 2 2021-2022. So I hope all the students keep your ambition high, work smart, and treasure your study years at UTM. And for the current and to be soon graduating students, the future is very bright ahead. So the knowledge that you had gained during your study years has well prepared for you to be an individual with diversified talent that can venture into many fields of interest apart from being a professional architect. So today's webinar is actually an eye opener. So do get involved with today's webinar. Be genuinely curious, make the connections, build the relationship, participate, and take the lead in the community. So be a leader in life, because a leader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. So with that, I wish everyone the very best and good luck for today's webinar. Have a nice day ahead and do enjoy your study in UTM as the offshore students. So thank you so much, and wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum salam. Thank you very much, Dr. Alice, for the welcoming remark. Now it's time for me to introduce our guest speaker today, architect Elina Rahman. She graduated in 2004 with a Bachelor of Arts in Architectural Studies, and in 2008 with a Bachelor of Architecture from University of Newcastle upon Tyne, United Kingdom. Prior to continuing her studies for Part 2, she gained her year-out experience working on an internal refurbishment of an award-winning conservation low-rise residential building, a refurbishments project in Glasgow, Scotland. Her professional experience covers a wide variety of projects from residential, hospitality, master planning, commercial developments, industrial, and educational projects. Gaining from her working experience post-graduation from DP Architects Sendirian Berhad, Kumpulan Arkitek Sendirian Berhad, SAO Architecture and Interior Design Perunding Alam Bina. She rejoined DP Architects in 2013, promoted as an associate in 2014, senior associate in 2016, associate director in 2019, and recently as a director for DP Architects Malaysia in 2020. She believes in knowledge is supposed to be shared, and she is passionate to contribute within the architecture fraternity. She is an active contributor in sharing her knowledge for LAM Part 3 candidates as well as Young Architects class under B Architect Study Group and ZSR Study Group. Now, without wasting any more time, it is now the time for our sharing session with our guest speaker. For the audience, should you have any question to our speaker, please type in your question in the chat box section at the bottom right corner of the WebEx window, and I will read your question according to the time availability. Now, I would like to invite Architect Elina Rahman for the sharing titled Reskilling Resilient Graduates with Ongoing Education. So please welcome Architect Elina Rahman if you're ready. And make
Yes,
sure to
I am.
unmute your mic.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Okay,
Izzy.
the music
Okay,
now.
let me share now. So everyone can see my screen?
Yes, Architect Elina,
Yes.
we can see.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's great. Give me a minute. Okay. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer of UTM's Master of Architecture offshore program for inviting me today to be part of the speaker for today's theme, Reskilling Resilient Graduates with Ongoing Education. So I would like to also welcome and thank everyone for being here today at the Offshore Open Day. I'm humbled to be able to share some thoughts and perhaps experiences with all of you guys regarding to this topic. However, I intend to keep my speech as brief as possible, not 45 minutes as planned, and try to go through if you have any questions after. So as a practicing architects in DP, we are close-knitted kind of family, and we currently actually have one associate that has been working with us and also part of the offshore program. When Dr. Alice mentioned earlier about working in parallel with studying, to be honest, I'm amazed of how she performs in office. She's able to perform in office, and also, as I was told that her academic achievement is well maintained. So kudos to UTM's offshore program, which I think it is a really good method of learning because it goes parallel with practical. So when we have our Part 1 students or our architectural assistants in our office, they come to me or to any one of the seniors. They ask about Part 2 architectural program. So they always come by and say, "Oh, KL, how does it work? What is Part 2 architectural program?" I always say things simply. So Part 2 architecture program is just a walk in the park. It's a walk in the park. However, I never told them what kind of park is it. So for me, it's Jurassic Park. So for people here, maybe you guys are much younger generations, maybe 15 years younger than me. So you may not understand what is Jurassic Park. So let me describe a bit more to you. So the feeling of being in Jurassic Park sometimes is like this. So does it feel familiar? You try to present and you have certain people just looking at you and you feel nervous. Okay, it's just, to be honest, it's just a joke. It's just a joke that I always give to our part 1 colleagues before they embark to the architecture program. But this is something that I would like to break the ice for today. So for all the students, the incoming students or graduating students of the offshore program, what I would like to say to you is that architecture is a lifelong learning process. So it won't stop at part 1, part 2, even when you are part 3. So it is a lifelong learning. And as one of my previous chairmen had mentioned to us, once you are an architect, you don't have a retirement age. You can work until you die. So basically, it's a lifelong learning, and it's so inspirational and exciting. So this is how I view architecture. So the topic today, reskilling resilient graduates with ongoing education. So when I was approached by architect Shahida with this topic, I was it took me a while to think about, wow, there is a lot of things that can be said because there's 3 keywords that I can see here within this topic that we can go about and discuss today. So the first keyword would be reskilling, and the second one would be resilience, and the third one will be continuous education. So these 3 keywords plays an important part for graduates as key principles, no matter what discipline or what course they are in order to go through the program, and also this also applicable once they are in their working life. So why these 3 key principles are important? It's because the world is changing. It's that simple, but it's so complex. The world keeps on changing, and it gets faster and faster, especially for the last 2 years. So let me go through some examples in which you may relate or may not relate. However, these are the things that I could think of, or just to share with you guys today, that what are the things that is somewhat shaping and affecting our working culture architecturally, or in the consultancy, or even in the built environment today. So I think everyone must have seen this kind of images. So this was taken somewhere mid 2020. So we are all familiar with this photo when COVID-19 pandemic hits us. So it did hurt our economy. A lot of offices and also businesses badly hurt. Construction being slowed down. So everyone was in lockdown during the movement control order number 1. So you can see this junction here is actually the junction between Jalan Sultan Ismail and Jalan Bukit Bintang. And this junction is so busy. On the right side, you can see that monorail, the monorail line, and there's a lot of zebra crossing around. So there's a lot of people crossing around with PMDs and push chairs and cars, bikes, up to 12 at night. So, and during MCO number 1, everything is clear. So this is one of the catalysts that we can see that shaping how businesses works as of late. So because of that, and also globalization, this is also another factor where we can see that the boundaries are blurred in between countries. So some services are actually rendered, for example, in Malaysia, but to serve customers in the US. It's because of digitalizations, all the boundaries are blurred, and then things or informations are being spread easily and more effectively. So one of the things, the latest hype and also developments that has been rapidly developed during this last year, which is the metaverse and the second world. The changes in terms of generation gaps between project owners, they're getting younger and younger with different kind of approach. So in terms of businesses or how we approach clients 10 years ago or 20 years ago is so different from now on how we react to them and how we present materials to them. So these are the key skills that or reskill that is required for students today in order to serve the later generations in future. So of course, we also have our issues of sustainability issues in which this is actually self-inflicted. We have environmental issues caused mainly by industrial and also our built environment. Hence, there's melting polar ice caps leading to global warming and its related disasters. So you can see here, these are some of the photos that we have. So continuous education. How I view continuous education, it's a knowledge. We ironclad ourselves with education and lifelong learning. So I take example of a medieval warrior. So ongoing education or continuous learning is like a body armor. So you ironclad yourself with basic knowledge and adding on to that knowledge in time. So that is the architectural co-curriculum. So part 1, part 2, and part 3, and beyond the formal education system. As the world becomes more and more virtually borderless, buildings become more and more complex, and the base knowledge is important to set us right from the beginning. Hence, part 1, part 2, and part 3 is considered as the base knowledge for us architects. If I go through the requirements or the requirements of each part, start from part 1. So part 1 is about acquiring skill set and knowledge to explore design via drawings or other mediums to express our design thoughts and processes. So this is by the time you graduate part 1, so you are supposed to be able to express your design thoughts and processes using your drawings. And when you get to part 2, it's all about rationalizing, analyzing, and making sure your design work in terms of other considerations such as services, compliances, and etc. So when you get to part 3, after 2 years of experience, working experience, it's all about having minimum knowledge in terms of professional practice. Basically, in terms of compliances, how you render your basic services. So those are the things that is being tested in part 3. So our architecture curriculum itself is all about continuous learning. So it takes us nearly 10 years just to complete the entire package of basic knowledge. So the other key skill that we would like to discuss today is about reskilling. So we understand that UTM Offshore is having this parallel working and also education in one go, in which I think that is fantastic because what we can see that the students can relate to whatever they are learning with their ongoing education. So I would like to share certain views in terms of reskilling. So reskilling is, for example, a skill set is something that is it's tailor-suited to us. It's a technique that we are good at. So I give example here as an archery. So archery is a skill that you acquire. So when you try to reskill yourself, you try to have a different technique of archery. For example, if you're used to stationary archery, then you start to do archery while moving. So those are the things that is what we call reskilling. And then there is also another terms what we call upskilling. So upskilling is when you combine two skills, for example, archery and also horsemanship, in order to, for example, fight in war. So you hit your target better and faster. So this kind of combination of skills we call upskilling. So this is just an example of another example that is outside of architecture world, that I would like to give some ideas to you guys of we could do this as well. So for example, if we have a certain skill, it can be combined with another skill in order to become to serve better or to give a better product or better design in future. So all in all, we need to reskill ourselves to keep abreast alongside changes with the world, especially technology. Technology is one of the key factor that is loaded up to us, and we have to utilize it fast, to learn it fast in order to learn how to use it into our design and also our services. So the third item will be reskilling. So about reskilling. So reskilling is about learn, about unlearn, and about relearn. So this is one example why. Sorry, there's something wrong with my slide. So the third portion will be resilience. So resilience is an ability to recover from adjust easily to misfortune or change. So in short, a person who is able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. These people we call them as resilient person. So if you have heard about grit, a term coined by Angela Duckworth, describe the extra something of exceptional achievers have that makes them successful. So resilient is one of them, apart from growth mindset, in being innovative and also think in the long term. So it's all about passion driven, perseverance, and also stamina that realize one dreams to reality. So why need to reskill and building knowledge? So think about a resilient as if like a rubber band. A rubber band, basically when you stretch it and pull it, it will return back to its original conditions. But after some time, rubber band will lose its elasticity in time. So how do we move forward from that? So someone who has driven by passion and constantly learning and reskilling himself will be able to be a bit more stronger, more resilient, just like pulling multiple rubber bands. So this is something that I always thought of when we are working in office. So if we have one skill and we are being resilient, we push through that one skill. So for example, if someone is strong in codes or bylaws, they're strong in that one principle of the knowledge. But in order to strengthen ourselves in terms of being an architect, we need several other skills to be honed and to be polished and to make ourselves more more knowledgeable. So this is representing all the other colored rubber bands in this photo. So again, why? Because the world is changing. So what can we do about it? So about COVID, again, I think we have to use our creativity and agility in order not to see the situation as something scary or discouraging, but to ignite our passion, to utilize our strength, and to innovate, to do better, and to survive. So because of COVID, in certain offices, we have been working in teams, we have been working in physical, we went to physical meetings, but because of COVID happened, we need to continue on serving the client, we need to still coordinate our drawings, we still need to attend meetings. So this is when we are starting to believe that there is a possibility to work from home. There is a possibility to work remotely at another particular location while still being in a meeting or still resolving problems. At the end of the day, our services, and as an architect, we are problem solvers. So MCO or COVID has given us that light that that made us believe that we can render our services anywhere. And because of that, there are some expansion, there are some offices being expanded to provide services elsewhere outside of the country. So meaning that we are trying to blur the boundaries, the national borders a bit more and more actually. So we can see that COVID and also globalization has provided us more opportunities, in fact. Not just something that another architect or another type of services that coming into our country, we also have opportunities to go outside. So another one will be embracing the new world. So metaverse has been developed fairly quickly, and we also have a few of our architects that has gone through and really dwell into this new world of metaverse, in which I don't know much about it, to be honest, but it seems that there are something to be explored, because people are looking into even real estate in the metaverse world. So this is something that we can apply our skills as architects, because we can we think about solution, we think about building and specification. We are not just applying this in the real world, but we can also apply this in this virtual world. And also adaptation. Adaptation is about adapting to our clients. Maybe currently we are still dealing with baby boomers to Gen Z, but in the near future we will start to deal with the newer generation, the Gen Z, and this is different. The adaptation that we have to do in order to capture their interest, in order to communicate with them, is different. So this is why a reskilled and a resilient person or architect is required in order to always innovate and adapt to the current situation, even to the point of dealing with your clients. If you know that the baby boomers, the older generations, even myself, I would prefer to have a face-to-face interaction whenever we have meetings. However, if we're going towards the newer generations, Gen Z or perhaps Gen Alpha later on, so they are different. They would like to have more text or more visuals readily sent to them in order for them to process first and then communicate differently. So these are the kind of adaptations that we need to face down the line in future. So of course, something that is self-inflicted, something that we cause as a human to our mother nature, is something that we could actually take on to reduce the impact. For carbon footprint reduction, so these are the efforts that we can see being done globally. So in terms of us rendering our services, we should always think about sustainability. We should always think about how to create wellness in a building. Wellness is not just for meaning to reduce the greenhouse effect. It's also how to the wellness of the users of a building. So those are the things that we as architects, we have to think about how to address this in the future and also in the current projects. And also sustainability. So that relates to the earlier reduction in carbon footprint. So sustainability should be, in some parts of the world, this is something that is compulsory, that has to be addressed. But as a practitioner, we would say that in terms of building materials or even how we design, we have to go back to sustainability aspect. We have to think about how to reduce energy consumption. So these are the key aspects that we always have to, or key principle that we have to hold on in order to save the environment, and also at the same time giving the best of options to our client. So that's all I have today. I hope there's something that I could share and you guys could learn from me today. And I hope there are some questions that I could address so that I can learn something from you too. Yeah, I end my section.
Okay, thank you very much, Architect Elina Rahman, for the sharing. I think the takeaway from this sharing session is that you have got to be flexible in your work approach and always be prepared for the changing situation. The world is always advancing forward with the new technology and digital age. And in some cases, the world simply just stopped with the recent case of pandemic situation. Who knows what we are dealing in the future, be it global warming or rising sea levels, or even human moving to Mars. So we as architects, we have got to be resilient and adaptable to all the changes that we are going to face in the future. So with this, I open up the Q&A session. You can just simply type in your question in the chat box section at the bottom right corner of the WebEx window, or you can just open up your mic and ask directly to our guest speaker today. So any question, guys?
So hello, hello,
All right.
madam.
Yeah.
My name is Aisha.
Hi, Aisha.
I think you keep reminding us regarding the pandemic and so on, the resilience of everyone during that time. On your part, how are you during that pandemic session during that? Because we did discuss with other AR that have their own firm and so on. They say on the first half year of during that session, they could cope in the beginning, but after that there's the hardship to maintain for future for their own workers and future project and so on. I think that's all.
Okay. We could say that we become in DP architects, we become a bit more flexible from before. So it means that we managed to actually have some of our staff working from home still, and we still can manage to go through to carry on all of our projects. So the important key point is actually the hardware have to be able to carry through. So for example, if a project using Revit, so the staff needs to have that kind of facility at home in order for them to to utilize and perform their tasks. So that is one key aspect. But in terms of, I would say, in terms of teamwork, of course, if you're working in the office, physical office, that would be best. You can discuss quite quickly. You can and you can mitigate any issues also fairly quickly. However, what we can see is the plus point of working from home during this COVID time, not even now, is that the colleagues or my colleagues or even myself, we can focus better. So at some point, we do think that working 5 days in office may not be compulsory anymore. You can have a combination. So there are certain days that you can actually sit at home and focus on your task, and then you go back and bounce ideas at a certain time that you agree with your team. And also, of course, adaptation of technology because of it's up to the point that we are desperate to know what's happening on site, but we can't go. So we asked the contractor to actually do a video call. So video call to view certain mock-ups, to view certain things that has been happening to the site. So it's actually fun, but sometimes it's frustrating because you want to see certain detail or junction and they keep on like mana. So it's kind of like hard sometimes, but I would say that we are trying our best to adapt. But so far we are able to do that. Except for if you're someone handling construction project, just construction project, most probably that will be slightly hampered down because still the best is you have to go to site and see what's happening. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, Architect Lina, we have two questions directed to me. Okay, so the first question, Architect Lina, do you have any experience in dealing with gender equity problem in your profession?
Oh, okay. Gender equity problem. It's fairly. I think I'm getting used to it. At the point that we just know how to manage. But of course, this gender equality is something that is an effort that has been gone through. In PAM, we can see there's an effort to push through this. Even in our office, the good thing is that in DP Architects, one of my past chairman, the current chairman is actually a lady. So she was Woman of the Year, and then we also have other women directors. Only that in Malaysia, I'm the first woman director in our office. So it's I think the world is open now to us women architects. And to be honest, if I don't know about others, but the way I think, and also my close friends, my close women architects friends, the way we think that we sometimes we forgot that we are women, because the way we run projects, we run contracts, we go to site, the way we communicate with others is just like any other man. It's just that maybe at first people are a bit reserved because you're a woman, but at some point in the project, they will accept you that you're an architect because you act accordingly, and they will adapt to that kind of approach from you. So it has to be initiated from you. If you believe that you are equal, you are a woman architect, we just step forward, we just be firm about it, and later on people will follow through. We just have to be firm about that and confident.
Okay, I hope that answered your question. Okay, we have another question, Architect Elena. Being an architect is a big challenge. So what is the best skill an architect should have other than communication skill to be a successful architect? Architect Elena?
Communication skill.
other than communication skill, what is the best skill an architect should have other than communication skill?
Communication. Okay. So yes, communication skill, of course, that is important. It's the continuous learning effort. Because there's so much to learn. If you have heard this, an architect is a jack of all trades, but a master of none. So basically, we have to know everything. When we run a project, we just have to have some sense of, for example, M&E services. We need to know what's happening in the infra, how things are, how RC is constructed. So without continuous learning effort, without our approach to always try to seek for knowledge, if you don't have that, it's very hard for you to carry through this profession. For example, okay, for you guys, I know you guys been working as well as learning. So what we did, or what was advised to me, in which I take on really carefully during my first few years as an architect, is that you allocate time to meet people, for example, suppliers. So you just allocate time, maybe twice a week. Personally, I would take 3 o'clock or 11 o'clock every Tuesday or Thursday. I would meet with suppliers and then I would ask them questions. For this, this is another way for you to learn. For example, this week, I was, because for example, we are going through a design that has dealing with bomb blast glass. So at first, I will meet with a glass supplier, asking about all types of glass. So the next week, I will start to meet with someone else, another supplier, and then start to go detail, start to learn. Okay, what you require, what is needed, what are the standards that have to follow through in order to have a bomb blast glazing system. So that kind of approach, actually, I really thankful to my ex-boss for setting that up for me early on in the days, because that sets me and a few of my colleagues right, that we always have this approach of, okay, we just have to carve out our time, even though we are very busy, just to provide ourselves some time for learning. So that will be the key point.
Okay, I hope that answered your question. And we have another question here. Hi, Architect Lina. What is the difference between local and international graduate in terms of skills and etc.?
Okay. Interesting question. Really interesting, because I graduated internationally. I was in the UK before. When I get back, I realized there's vast differences between us, meaning the local and also the graduates from overseas. What I would say that I feel very inferior, because in Malaysia, the technical skills and the servicing skills, the knowledge about material is so much more than in the UK. So I can just give an example from the UK, because I was from there. So I'm not too sure about Australia or any other countries, but in my school in particular, we are more about conceptual. It's pushed through from year 1 to the 5th year. So the only time that we adopted technical information is actually from our year out experience, which is year 4, that we have to do year out, working in the actual practice, and then it's applied into your 4th and 5th year. So while my friends in Malaysia, they have been learning about technical from year 1, so it's very different. And I always think that Malaysian graduates have more skills. It's just that in terms of how to say it, in terms of the conceptual ideas, that is slightly they are slightly reserved in comparison to the overseas graduate. But yeah, but to be honest, at the end of the day, when you work, right, what I found out is that you're at ground zero. Whoever you are in the university, you're top student or not top student, once you come to workforce, the only difference that it will give you is actually your effort. At the end of the day, someone with a first class degree may just be overtook by someone who actually got second class. So for me, whatever the location you receive your education, your formal architectural education, is irrelevant. It comes back to your effort and your attitude on gaining experience and also gaining knowledge to become one architect.
Okay, effort and attitude. Thank you very much, Architect Elina. So we have two more questions just came in. Okay, Architect Elina, what is your company approach in design towards dealing with COVID-19 pandemic situation? Are there any significant design changes or any particular design philosophy that your company adopting in the future projects?
Oh yes, we have. From last year, we start to have this, because we have our design approach, we call it APD wheel. So there are certain aspects of design that we have to look through. But from this year onwards, we are looking into these three aspects very seriously. In all of our design, we have to make sure that we tick this checklist, which is technology, wellness, and also green. So these three aspects that we in DP, we really have to push through. We just have to make sure that all of our projects have this kind of approach. But if you talk about pandemic itself and how it changes our design, the most prominent one will be residential. I think everyone knows that during pandemic time, we all work from home, we studied from home. So our house has changed, has transformed. So in our office, we did some research. So this is initiated in Singapore, but it goes around the globe with the 17 offices. So we studied on where actually people work during pandemic. So most people will work in the living room or in the or in the apartment. So they start to work at balcony or somewhere open space. So from there, we understand that our living typology, our house design need to change. We now have to provide a working space for for all of our new projects. And this working space will require good lighting, good ventilation, good visual as well. Because if you are once you are parents, so you have to make sure your kids are okay. So in a way that you have to be seated somewhere that you can actually look at them and supervise them while working. So these are the things that that we studied as the impact of this pandemic. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Architect Elina. Just to recap, the answer is technology, wellness, and green. All right.
Yes.
So another question. Hi, good morning, Architect Elina. I would like to know about your opinion on Malaysia architecture development in the future.
Malaysia architecture development, I would say it gets complex and more complex. We can see a mesh of typologies because of the and a mesh of typologies, meaning that one plot of land we have mixed use, and it's not just 1-2 types. It could be about 4-5 types. You could have a huge podium with retail below and residential tower. This is normal nowadays, but we also have like a combination of what you call that, medical centers in order to serve. in order to serve the community. So it is like the building typology will get more and more complex. However, we can see that certain approach still need to be a bit more flexible to make way of all future needs. So we can see that need to be taken into our design.
Okay, thank you, Architect Elena, for the answer. I hope that answered your question. So basically, we still have time. So any more question coming in? Or feel free to open your mic and direct your question to our speaker. Okay, we have another question. Hi, Architect Elena. May I ask to what extent does cost limits the design without losing its core design value? Are there any examples of real projects which have design limitation due to cost? Architect Elena?
Okay. So far, all of my projects have cost limitation. So that would be like the to me is like a sorry, the main constraint of in designing, because we have to look into the client's budget and also the type of solution that we are providing to them. So in terms of course, we, for example, for myself, never met a client that has no ceiling to their budget. So we always have to tailor suit to it. But in all fairness, to be honest, in design, right, if I have a limited budget, that gives me certain challenge in which we have the opportunity to explore. To explore meaning that we can use different material, we can start to investigate what else, what kind of solution that we can do, or solution that we can provide to the client in order to save costs, but still meeting the our architectural intent. So I think that is a great challenge. Once you have a some sort of budget from client, and you try to have your way in terms of design. So you just have to work through and then try to meet in the middle. It's still doable.
Yep. The key is creativity, I think. Okay, so any more question coming in before I close the Q&A session? Because we still have time, like 2 or 3 minutes. So any more question from the students, especially? Okay, no more question, I think. So I would like to say thank you, Architect Elena, for the sharing session. I think it's about time for me to close the Q&A session. All right.
Okay, it's
So
my pleasure.
all right. So it's time for our. I think now is the time for our sharing session with our M Arch Offshore invited alumni. So may I ask if Mr. Yuzairul Azwan Yusuf and Mr. Nick Muhammad Muaz, you guys ready for the sharing session? So I can
InsyaAllah.
see. All right. So I can see the video is already open. So with this, may I invite our first alumni, Mr. Yuzairul Azwan Yusuf from MRCB Builders, for the sharing session. So the room is yours, Mr. Yuzairul.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. Okay. Okay. Good morning to all. Thank you, UTM, for inviting me as the alumni to share my experience and journey during this MR offshore program lah. Previously known, I think it's PERSISE, right? So basically, I will describe a little bit about my background. Okay. Previously, I was working with a consultant firm for 5 years, and now I joined a construction company, which is MRCB Builders. Okay. So I will explain more on my journey then. Okay. I joined this program as a second batch, September 2017 intake, and I graduated in I finished my study in January 2020, but then the pandemic happened, so there's no graduation for 2020. So basically, I just finished my study on January 2020. So moving on, I will explain a little bit about my journey in this program. So I think this program is a the whole program is to me is a fun learning experience lah. Because previously for my part one, I graduated from a private uni. So after I graduated, I got a job. But then when I start a job, this private uni is actually is a twinning program with the overseas university lah. So the syllabus basically from the overseas. So what I learned there is more conceptual lah. So when I start my working as I start work, I was quite shocked a little bit because I am not quite because what I learned what you say because what I learned during my part one mostly is more on the design, on the conceptual, but when you are in your working experience and when you are working, you don't use a lot of that lah. But so what basically I'm saying, like what Dr. Lina said, that local is overseas university not what how to say not prepare you enough for your working environment. So I was quite shocked, but then I learned slowly lah. But because everything new for me, so I have to learn back. So alhamdulillah, everything went well. So and I set my target for this for my part two for my masters. I set my target. I want to try the local uni lah, because I have few colleagues which would they what they told me what they learned during their part one in the local uni. So I set my target to join the local uni lah. So I said I plan to further my study after 2 years, but then it get drag on but then so then I got married, so I have a commitment then. So I tend to find a place where I can further study while I'm working, and I got to attach. I also like my work, so I don't want to leave my work, so I cannot do full time, so I have a constraint there. So when UTM open, it's like a rezeki for me lah. Okay, for me to further my study. So I went there and went to interview with Dr. Shah, and thank you, Dr. Shah, who accept me to join. So so that basically background why I joined the UTM in the first place. So I would like to share my journey then. It's a fun learning experience. So you're gonna have a lot of exam, but honestly, all the exam is all related to your work, so you don't worry. So basically, what you are learning for your exam is you're gonna practice it during work. So it's not like macam you study sejarah then you ambil architecture, so sejarah is not tak applicable lah macam SPM, right? You study sejarah but then you go for architecture, so sejarah Malaysia, so tak applicable sangat lah. That is perumpamaan je lah. But then whatever you study in UTM, I think if you study properly, it's actually kind of prepare you to take for your part 3 exam. But you have to register for graduate architect, you have to wait for 2 years, then you can take exam lah. But if you focus and study and take simpan, keep all the notes, because all the lecturer and all the invited lecturer is all professionals. So basically what they share to you is from their working experience. So I think you should keep all the notes and for your future lah. Okay, so and you're gonna have a lot of group works, but don't worry, technology nowadays you can work using Google Meet, and you can prepare all your assignment together online. You don't have to meet up. Another thing is and for design subject, I think it's like you are doing proposal for your company. It's like a new project come in, then you are tasked to do your proposal. So basically, the design subject is most it's like that lah. It's the same thing, and you have to do a lot of research lah, for a lot of research because this is a master's program. Research is important lah, so you have to do a lot of research. Basically, you can spend 1 or 2 hours browsing Instagram or TikTok. Surely you can do 2-3 hours of doing research lah. So and research nowadays is easy lah. Internet can get all the information. Okay, so that is my journey. So to to summary my journey studying at UTM, I think what is important is how you manage your time. Is because when you see the timetable or Sabtu Ahad, you're already fully occupied for class, right? But if you if you really if you manage your time properly, probably you have no issue because and you have to get through the first semester first. When once you get through the first semester, then you know how to manage your time. To me lah, okay. You will meet as from my experience, I made a lot of new friends. And part of me miss the class during weekend. Uh, uh, so and one more important things why I joined is because we have the office studio. We have the school studio and office studio. So office studio to me is very important because you can have create with your colleague, and you can have create with your boss who is a professional. So basically, that office studio you cannot get anywhere lah, because if you study full time, you don't have a principal to monitor your work. So I think that is the most important thing lah, for me, because when I was doing my design, I always seek for advice from my principal and from my colleague lah. They give me the advice, and we can have a great session lah. It's a good thing lah. And one more thing is, if you are working with a consultant firm, just let your boss know what you are doing. You are doing part time, so they can reduce your work, and they can, if your company support you, they maybe can lend you their printers, which is, I think, the best thing lah, if you can if they can have if they can give the access to the office printer, because you will be doing a lot of printing works. So I think that's it. That is my journey lah. But by the end of the day, if you this program is when you finish study, you will gain experience, and you will complete your part 2 master for your journey for your part 3 lah. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yuzairul Azwan Yusof from MRCB Builders. And allow me to be clear, MArch Offshore Program is unique in its own way, due to the project involvement not only from the university but also from the industry. So you have to deal with the professional in the industry as well for your design project. So next, I would like to invite our second MArch Offshore invited alumni, Mr. Nick Muhammad Moaz, Nick Yusof from Izwan Hizan Architects. So Mr. Nick, Mr. Moaz,
Yeah,
are you ready?
Doctor.
All right. Okay, sure.
Okay,
Now the
thank
room
you,
is yours.
Doctor. First of all, thank you to UTM for inviting us today. So actually, I have nothing to say, but because Dr. PC asking and then telling me to share with the junior, with the incoming new student. So I think I just sharing with you about my experience, which is I'm graduate from part 1 on 2008 from UITM. And then since 2008 until I joined this program, Master Architect on 2017 as a first batch. So actually, why I joined this program, actually, this is the way that I think I should do lah. Because, you know, as a family, you know, I'm married with 2 children when I'm starting doing this program. So it's not easy for me actually if I want to do a full-time study. So also, if you can see within 2008 and 2017 is quite a big gap actually. But for me, I take this opportunity because within the time I'm studying. I mean, I learned a lot from my company, my firm. I stay with a few firm because it is you know, depends on you whether what is your achievement to get. So for me, actually, I want to learn about every type of industry. You know, in architecture, we got individual building, we got development, we got housing, commercial, we got malls, and then hospital. And then this thing, if you want to learn in short time, I think it's not enough for you to gain or to get the experience. So for me, within the time 2008 until 2017, so I learned more about this, about the small project into the urban project, low rise and into the high rise, and then also hospital. And it's about more on architecture. Okay, so when I joined this program on 2017, actually it's also lucky for me because I'm almost didn't get this opportunity. I almost meet the, you know, the closing date. So I think this is my chance lah actually. I think it is takdir for me to continue part 2 because, you know, by the way, my wife actually graduate for part 2, but when we start get the child, and then she decide to you know, to be the full-time lecturer lah. I mean, lecturer for our child lah. So for me, it's okay because I am a husband, so I need to do everything. So from there, I decide to continue. So I look at that time, this program Master Arch UTM is opening for PCC, which is doing on weekend. So I grabbed this opportunity and straight away I apply and then get join the UTM. So for me, this program is very tough because you need about 2.5 years to finish it. But compared to previous others program, not by this UTM but others, previously they offer more than 2.5 years. So I see this is the very good opportunity for me as I am doing it in part time, in weekend. It's not part time, but it's called fully weekend. I mean, we attending the classes on weekend, and then on the weekday we stay doing our studio in our firm. So I see when I attend the class and then see the program. So everything I'm doing in office, I can see I can see it clear, and it helped me to solve the problem. When you are attending this program, you will learn about how to doing the contract, how to facing or how to solve the problem when you meeting in the real construction on site. So this is discussed in the classes, and you will get the answer from your lecturer. So for me, this is the very good opportunity, even though it's not about only design the building, new building, but it's also how you want to manage to facing your problem on site while on construction until the CCC, and what is the problem coming up after the CCC and so on. So this is a very good program, I think, for us, because while we are working, at the same time we can sharing our problem or our experience with others in our class. So in class we can get more pandangan from your colleague or your lecturer. So from there you got a few options. So this is the way actually if you want to carry on your career in architecture, being the part 3 architect after you get this part 2. So I think this is the good way or the good decision to do lah. And then it is like I say, it is not easy for me, as I am starting this program with with 2 charts and while walking. So I think for me it's not excuse. When you say you want to do this architecture, this program, you must do it until you finish it. So this is my way lah, actually, because for me, I have no reason to give up or whatever people do. When they say they are stressed lah, this is I have no time lah to do. I got a lot of job to do in firm. That time I also manage about 10 project in hand, even though I'm doing studying. So for me, I try to manage my time in the working time from morning to the 5 p.m. 6 p.m. So focusing on the working, and then after that I managed to do my study. So every day I stay at office, and then sometime when my boss or my architect got free time, I quickly asking him about my study lah. So from here I gain my knowledge in this architecture knowledge without wasting time. So that's why I think this program is very good for me, because this is the way where I can get my part 2, and then I also can go to the part 3. So I think this is our target lah, to this industry, right? So for me, when we join this program, when we want to do something, we need to have a very clear goal. Like you want to finish this for what? You must have your goal. So that goal will help you to give you motivate, because you within 2 years, 2.5 years, you have no time. Weekend time you study. For me, that time before COVID, we are physical meeting, physical classes. So every week I attend to the class, and then my family also have to allow me. I say we only 2.5 years, and then I will finish it, and then we can recovery back this study time. So they understand. So for me, this thing actually you need to discuss. If you are family now, so you must discuss with your partner. You must clearly distinct. You must have their support, because it's help you to strong in this field to complete your study. And then for me, my sharing here is try to make friend, or try to get a friend in this field. Friend with your colleague, friend with your lecturer. You can asking them, and then you can get more information about architecture and so on. So it's helped you a lot. Even though you say, I can do this alone, I can do this, I can do this. Actually, if you vegetarian, is no problem lah. But for me, it's better when you can sharing with your friends. Sometimes you know this, and then sometimes you do not know. So when your friend sharing, or your lecturer sharing something, then you get knowing on that things lah. So uh, like I say, I don't know what to say actually, but my opinion, I mean, my suggestion to you all are actually, when you doing this program, you need to what please do not give up. Okay, you must do until the end. So this is actually the starting. If you're asking all the architect or other person outside, this is actually the starting for you to start your career. Because when you get part two, you only know how the contractual is going on the real life, and then how you meet people, how you attend the meeting, jot down the note, and so on. So this is teach you how you will practice in your own when you get part three. So this part two actually to prepare you to be know everything about law, know everything about it's not about only the architecture bylaw. You need to know so many things, like pen contract, like bomber, and then land meter. So this thing is you need to set up your mind, which is you cannot. I mean, you need to know your target. When you do architecture, it's not about the design only. Uh, when we talk about design, people will say, "Oh, I want nice building. I want this one nice." But practically, is it practical or not? And then this is why we continue study. We do study, and then from there we can know, okay, this is very very good solution for this problem. So from there you gain your knowledge, and then you can develop to the new stage, and then that's why you will become the great architect in the future. So for me, like uh, like what if you think architecture is interesting in such way only, then you must think widely. Okay, try to think widely, and then try to develop more things. So from there, you will see architecture is very nice, very interesting career to do. So again, try to manage your time very well, because you have no time to do, because in weekday you have your work in hand already. So try to do try to manage very well, because if you got a timeline for your creed 1, creed 2, creed 3, and until the final one. So try to manage well, and then try to do discussion with your architect in office, and then also in with your lecturer online, and so on. So this will help you generate your idea into the next stage. If you didn't plan this well, and then I think you might say that, oh, I have no time. I have difficult time to manage this thing. Actually, I can do. Others can do. So you also can do. So it's depend on you, because I look at after me also a few coming from the family's background. So if we can do, you also can do. Just don't give up. See, because I look at some people give up because they say, oh, I cannot handle this, I cannot. But for me, that one, if you want to be architect, you also will facing the same stress, you know. Being architect is not easy. You can say, wow, I want to be architect, so famous. No lah. Actually, you you must think also how you face your stress. So this is how you try to manage your stress, and then you try to manage until you finish this part two lah. Okay, so for me, I have nothing more to talk about, but I can say good luck in your study, and then please share with your friend, then asking more about, and then from there you can gain your knowledge in this field. So I think this all can what I can share today lah. So that's all, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nick Muhammad Moaz, for the sharing. I think what both of our alumni have spoken is true. Offshore program not only prepares you for a good schematic design and design development due to having the need to do some sort of research with sound justifications, but also having professionals in the industry allows the students to be more involved in understanding project management, construction documents, construction administration, and many more. So we can see that our program is holistic and complete in its approach to prepare the students for the LAM Part 3 examination. Now I would like to open the Q&A session for around 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the number of questions I receive in the chat box, or the audience can simply unmute your mic and ask the question directly to our invited alumni. So I think we have one question here. Dear alumni, how do you relate the research-based design in architecture with the actual working environment after you graduate? So probably I would like to direct this question to Mr. Yuzairul to answer the question.
Okay, so how we can relate? Okay, for my final thesis, I'm doing I've been selected to do enviro. So basically, environmental is more on the passive design approach. So basically, I'm doing research on the atrium, lighting through atrium and office building. So basically, whatever outcome from my research during because I'm really concerned on the lighting efficiency in a office building. So that's why I decided to do research on this stuff, because during when I'm working, I have no time to do all this research. So when I'm studying, so I pursue my interest in this lighting in an office building during my research. So when I'm doing my research, the lecturer also advised me all the software and what info that I need. So basically, what I have time to I have the time to pursue my interest in this topic during my study. That is how I so when I next time when I got a project regarding to design an office building, I will try to apply my whatever I have done research for my thesis. So that is how I relate this MR this program with my uh, working life. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yuzairul. So
Alright.
another question, probably directed to Mr. Muaz here. Okay, what kind of software you guys are using during your studies? Is it the same as your office?
Okay, thank you for the question. Actually, in this program, actually, we also UTM also have special special course for the program in architecture, which is you got Revit, you got 3D maths and so on. So when you do this program, you will join the class, and then from there you can learn the new program. I mean, for me, I also learned the new program in this master Ash while I'm doing the design. So Dr. PC actually one of the lecturer that teach this subject. So from there, I use the program to, it's not only to render the building, but also to gather the information from there. So not only one subject, one program, you will have a few programs that you will see that it will help you in manage your design, your project. So I think it's depend on you to decide which program you want to do. Normally, normally we use AutoCAD for planning, and then from there we convert and then doing the Photoshop, and then also now we got Lumion also, and then SketchUp for 3D, and then if you do the ArchiCAD or another Autodesk program, you straight away can get the 3D, and then can render from there. So it can save your time, and then I think it's not a big problem for you lah, actually, because the most important is how you develop the things, how you show your idea on your plan, on your 3D. That's all. So this program actually no worries lah, because lecturer will help you. Okay, that's all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Muaz. I realized that Mr. Muaz mentioned Dr. PC quite a lot of times. So Dr. PC, you have one very proud student here. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Muaz, for the answer. Okay, we have another question, probably directed to you both, so you guys can actually answer this lah. So hi, how do you manage your financial during studies at the same time that you are working? Are you getting any study loans, scholarship? I've checked with several agencies like PTPTN, Yayasan. They cannot cover fully the total education costs. They can only cover up to 8K per year only. Are there any other options?
Yeah, very good
Guys.
question, actually. Usually I go first.
Okay.
So by the way, because I mentioned to you earlier that I'm working around 10 years. So for me, I got my EPF. So I used my second account that time, EPF, to pay my fees. And then because that time I also clashed with uh, buying the new house. So I also habis duit. So I managed to do the PTPTN. So actually it's not a problem lah. You got option where actually my friends also apply to the Ben Rakyat, like a scholarship, and then also the Mara. So you got a few options lah, actually, and then you also can apply to your firm lah if you close to your boss. So I think that's all lah. Okay, Zaidul can continue lah.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
Mr.
All
Zairul?
right,
Yep.
all right. Okay, thank you, Muaz. Basically, Muaz is batch 1 and I'm batch 2. So basically, we are both not the same batch lah, but we have class together. So we're quite close with Muaz. So basically, from my observation, not I think lah, from my observation, not all students who enroll with in batch 1 and batch 2, I think when I ask them how do you cope with the fees, so basically they also firstly have no idea because uh, they just go je macam they don't like they don't have like saving like 50K. so they just go with the flow. So basically, most of them memang not well prepared in for the fees lah, because fees are quite high. But I think eventually, uh, this kind of thing you will eventually, if you really want to do it, I think you can find a way. So, like me, I use same as Muaz. I use my KWSP, my second account, but tak tak boleh meet up that amount. But I try to save up my money lah for my salary. Usually the one semester is like 4 to 7 months plus the short semester. So you have to settle it. This is my experience lah. You have to settle it before you enroll for the second semester, the second quarter of the year lah. So basically you have 7 months to settle your fee. So you have to save up lah. Like maybe you can save up like I know the part one salary is not big, but that is a sacrifice you have to make lah. Because most of my my friends, they also like save up like 1,000 a month. So you have to do that lah. So to me, it's not an excuse lah, because if you want something, you have to work on it lah. You have to save up. You have to properly plan your financially. I mean, no more hoo-ha like that. You have to save up for the 2 to 5 years. So it can be achieved because it's proven, because batch 1 and batch 2 have graduated. I believe batch 3 and batch 4 also have graduated. So I think if we can do it, you also can do it lah. So plan your money properly and plan your time and your leave properly, because okay, thank you, that's all.
Okay, thank you to both alumni for the answers. For Izzat, I think I hope you get some ideas on how to manage your financial. Okay, so another question probably Mr. Uzairul can answer this. Okay, hi, I would like to know how was the experience during examination for part 2 since the program did not have accreditation.
Oh, part 2 examination. Okay, so basically UTM helped us because the program accreditation sepatutnya is supposed to be held in 2020, I think, but we have MCO, so LAN also cannot come. So unfortunately for batch 1 and batch 2, we have to go separate individual part to LAM examination. UTM helped us. Then we submit all the documents. Then UTM prepare all the syllabus document, and they also write into LAM that they want to conduct. I mean, like a group of that one particular day. There's a group of UTM only for a group of UTM students from batch 1, batch 2. So Alhamdulillah, my experience from the examination, if you do properly your work and you know what you do in your work, and you tak ciplak orang punya, and you do whatever you want and you present it to them, you will pass. So there's no issue lah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Uzairul, for the answer. So next question, probably Mr. Muaz can answer this. Hi, is it a must to be working under architecture firm or consultant firm since the pandemic and retrenchment been on the rise? Mr. Muaz?
Sorry again, can you repeat the question?
Is it a must to be working under architecture firm or consultant firm since the pandemic and retrenchment has been on the rise?
I see. For me, how to say, if you got a source on how to get the knowledge in architecture, I mean the contractual, the experience. I mean, even though in the developer also got in-house architect, sometimes they got the architecture department. So from there, sometimes their practice also same as a firm. So for me, as long as the practice is safe, it's not problem lah. It's not a big problem because when you do this master program, you will get the new things in your way lah. So for me for me, how to say, if you have difficulty to working in firm, I know because today everybody make the problem, and then it's not easy for us lah. But as long as you can practice your architecture, like even in other company, I mean not only the firm, so it should be okay lah for me. And the other thing is you should get your friend, I mean try to asking your friend whoever working in the firm. So from here it's like you're not left behind. Okay, I think that's to answer the question.
All right, thank you, Mr. Muaz. Okay, another question. Banyak question, eh? Can you share the experience of having your boss to be the practice studio supervisor? The crit session will be based on the project in work or project in study. Okay, any of the alumni want to answer this?
Okay, I think I try
Okay,
to
Mr. Muaz.
answer this question. For me, because like me, when I join, when I infer, me and boss is like a friend, you know. So it's very easy for me to asking my boss about hey boss, how do you think this layout, how do you think this should go with, is it okay if I doing this layout, I doing this so from there actually for me most important thing is you try to get close to your boss first, and then the second thing is try to not only to asking your problem, asking opinion, but try to be friend to your boss or your architect. So from there, even though you're asking something else, but sometimes they will told you about something you need to know, so it's bonus for you lah. So to say that how you should do, actually first you need to be friend with them first. I mean, try to get close first, and then from there you try to asking slowly. So they will help you, no problem. Because this architecture is, when you in part 2 or you in part 3, so this is like a piece of cake only, lah. So I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Muaz. Okay, what Mr. Muaz was saying is that you have to counting with your boss first. Then after that, everything will be easy and smooth. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. So I think we are at the end of our Q&A session with the alumni. So before we end our alumni session, I would like to ask our invited alumni to give some sort of words of encouragement, a short one, okay, to our current ongoing students, especially in time management or anything that relate to our offshore program lah. So we would like to start with Mr. Yuzairo. A short one, words of encouragement.
Okay, thank you. As I mentioned before, time management and how you manage your money, how you manage your leave, and how you manage your work-life balance. That is the more important thing, lah. But don't worry, like Muaz said, you have to support each other, because in our last time in our class, there's a student who's feel like, I'm quitting. But then you have to support each other, like, boleh, okay, we help you whatever you can. You have to help each other. You have to get to know, meaning that in your class, in your batch, you have to work as a family lah. Like macam anything, any problem, any issue you tak boleh, macam assignment is very hard to complete. You support each other, so you have to work together, and you cannot just go as a lone ranger. Work together, then inshallah you get through lah. Okay, that's from me.
Thank you, Mr. Yuzairo.
Okay.
Work together, all right? So, Mr.
Yes.
Muaz,
Okay, for
words
me,
of encouragement.
just very simple. Just enjoy your study, be happy, and then don't forget to smile. Because in everything we do, we will meet the hard thing. So, well, when we meet the hard thing, we will solve the problem. So every problem got the solution. So the thing is, just enjoy your time, because it's coming once in your life, and then This time actually you get along to your lecturer, to your friends, to your architect, and to everybody. So be happy and then don't stress. That's all.
Okay. Positive attitude, yeah, Mr. Muaz.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you to both of our alumni, Mr. Muaz and Mr. Yuzairul, for the sharing session.
Okay,
And
thank you.
thank you all for the questions. So I close the Q&A session now. So with that closure, we have come to the part where we're going to have the M-Arch Offshore Program review by our program coordinator, Architect Nur Shahida. So Architect Nur Shahida, if you are ready, the room is yours for the program overview for Master of Architecture Offshore Program, UTM.
Thank you so much, Dr. Izik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. So I will be sharing on this program review and also about a simple briefing about this program. Let me share the slides. Can you see the slides?
Yes, clearly.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to welcome to all students, the current students, and also the new architecture offshore program students. We have current student, which is from cohort 6, 7, and 8, and also the new intake cohort 9. I know that some of you might be questioning why we are still not getting the letter of offer for this program and so on, but why you are invited to this session. It's because at the moment, last week, we are having some issues in terms of the new intakes, and we just cleared up the things on last Thursday. So your official letter will be issued perhaps in this week. And for cohort 9, the classes will start next week. Okay, but for all the current students, your class will start today. Okay, so a little bit on the program background. The intake of first cohort of students for this program was in semester 2, session 2016-2017, which is Muaz, is the first cohort. Second cohort is Yuzairul. And the program is introduced specifically for those who are currently working full-time in architectural consultancy practice or related field in support of the concept of lifelong learning. So currently, we have produced 59 graduates from 6 cohorts. So in terms of administrations of Master of Architecture program, as you know that this program is under the control of SPS, under the control of SPS, Sekolah Pasca Siswaza, and we are the program owner, which is the program owner is our director program of architecture, Associate Professor Dr. Alice Sabrina. I myself is the program coordinator for this M-Arch program, M-Arch offshore program. And I do have my assistant, which is Madam Siti Hamiza Rabu, is the offshore coordinator, assistant coordinator. And besides, we do have a special lantikan of Dr. Nurul Azrin Azlan as our program manager. Dr. Nurul Azrin is based in UTM KL. And we also have Dr. Lang Pao Chung as our thesis and also pre-thesis coordinator. Okay, later on, we will brief you about the pre-thesis and thesis, but that will be in a separate session. All right, about why do we offer this offshore program and why it is needed in higher education architecture? It's because meeting the current and future human capital demands for the country, and this offshore program to address the national agenda to provide more graduates in the field of architecture. It's also to supplying a current and future shortage of architectural trained personnel to the building industry in Malaysia, providing alternative path towards career development in architecture. And I am proudly to tell you that this is the only offshore program for architecture degree program in Malaysia. You cannot find this in any other school. And then a shortage of places for bachelor holders to continue studies due to limited seats in local university and high cost abroad and non-recognition of school outside. So this is the platform. And also towards the experience-based learning in contrast to academic-based learning. The program objective of this MArch offshore program is to provide high quality continuing architectural education for working students, and also to establish high quality architectural training programs to meet the needs for LAM Part 2, and also to provide avenue for higher professional architectural education through scholarly research, practice, and design. This is the PEO, or what we call as Program Educational Objective. We have 4. The first one is on knowledgeable and competent in line with the professional qualification of Board of Architect Malaysia Part 2, and scholarly through research and practice and able to solve problems critically, analytically, and creatively based scientific facts and sound idea. PO3 is on professional, ethical, responsible, and responsive to values of humanity and sustainability. And PEO4 is on effectively communicate and contribute to working teams and competitive to various local and global market. This PEO has been mapped to the PLO within MQF domain, and we have 9 graduate attributes, where these 9 graduate attributes has specific category, which is technical skill and also generic skill. So as you can see, this is the list. The PLO1 is on scholarly knowledge, and then we have PLO2 on skills, PLO3 on problem solving and critical thinking, PLO4 on communication, PLO5 on team working, PLO6 on lifelong learning, PLO7 is on professional ethics, and PLO8 is leadership, and PLO9 is the entrepreneurship. So this is all the PLO that has been mapped, and things that you need to achieve. We do set certain standards and so on. So this is part of the rubric of our marking systems as well. And for this students intake for this offshore program, we do offer open for new application and new intake in both semester 1 and semester 2 every year with a specific requirement and including interviews. I believe all of you has been going through this and passed the interview. Only then you can be offered to this program. So this is some of the improvement made according to the new guidelines set by the lembaga. If you have your CGPA as 3.5 above, then you do not need any practical practice required. I mean the practice period, working period. But if your CGPA is 3.0, sorry, to 3.49, then you need about 6 months of practice period required. And 2.7 to 2.99 is 12 months. 2.5 to 2.69 is 24 months. And if your CGPA is 2.3 to 2.49, then you need 36 months. So this is the required durations of minimum time in practice for MArch candidates. So other than that, you need to undergo, the candidates must be working full-time and remain employed during the period of study, except for the international candidates where they need to go undergo the practical training throughout the study. And for international candidates, they must comply with the requirements, and they must have meet the special language requirement by having a minimum English proficiency of TESOL and with a score of 550 or minimum band of 6.0 in IELTS. I do notice that some questions was out just now about the employment. Like what has been shared by Muaz, it is not restricted to architectural consultancy practice only. It can be from a developer and so on, as long as you have a professional architect, AR, to become your co-supervisor. But if you cannot find that as well, we can help you to do some sort like an arrangement. We can find or tap into any firms, okay, and then ask them for help to become the co-supervisor, okay, because there's a merit for of appointing that co-supervisor. There's a marking system that includes in our marking. So kalau tak ada co-supervisor, then the requirement tu akan break lah, because this is the special curriculum that we designed for this MArch program offshore that is not happening in our Perdana program. Right, about the difference between Perdana and Persissi program, the Perdana program is a full-time and it is more focusing on the academic needs. It's based on the research and then on the theoretical explorations about the publications and about the future industry. And previously, we do offer 72 credits in Perdana program, but currently we already shift to 60 credits program in Perdana. So soon we plan to also implement the 60 credit to this specific program. And this specific program is focusing more on the industrial needs, about the architectural practice, management practice, about the professional management, about the exposure on the offices, and also the collaboration with the industry. So this is the basic rules about the for the Perdana and Persissi program. If you for the Perdana program, the maximum credit allowed in a semester is 21, but different with the Persissi, we only allow 12 credits. And then the minimum credit for Perdana is 12, while minimum credit for Persissi is 2 credit. And in terms of the requirement on minimum CPA for graduation is the same, 2.0. And then the durations for the Perdana program is 4 semester, while for the MH program, it is 5 semester with 2 short semester. And then the minimum credit for Dean's List is for Perdana is 12, and for Persissi is 8 credit. And this is about the general principles on the staff-student meeting hour. Okay, so all the teaching and learning will be conducted during the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And each meeting will be carried out about 6 to 14 hours per week, depending on the course credits. And course with examinations, the meetings will be conducted about 5 to 8 times each semester. And then for the design courses, a total of 15 meetings is set. And then the schedule may be adjusted so that it is concurrent and also similar to the equivalent Perdana Design Studio. The maximum credit hour is 12, as mentioned before. And then the compulsory university subject, we will arrange and offer you the university subject during short semester. So you can register during short semester about 6 credit, which consists of 2 courses. Okay, normally university subject is 3 credit, and we will put in any supporting subject to be offered during the short semester. And the terms of exposure for the offshore students, you will have a real life experience and exposure in practice because you have a close connection with the industry. You can always ask the supplier, your engineer, and so on. And then you can have quite a better feedback rather than the Perdana program. And this offshore program, the professionals architect will be appointed, the one in the office will be appointed as your second supervisor. And there will be some percentage of marks given, okay? All right, this is about the component of the main curriculum of this program. This is according to the Malaysian Higher Education Department requirement. We do have a kursus umum university, kena ambil satu subject of 3 credit, and the kursus teras is 60 credit, kursus selective is 3 credit, and your project sarjana or dissertation is 6 credit, where the accumulate of the total credit is 672 credit hour. So this is the list of courses. Okay, so depends kursus umum university ni what is offered by the university kita akan put in during your punya short semester, and this is your punya semester subject of the course subject. You have pre-thesis 1, pre-thesis 2, pre-thesis 3, design thesis, and other course subject. And you need to choose one of the elective offered over here. We have 4 electives, which is spacing tech, program outreach, green building design, and advanced architectural computing. So you can choose one. It depends on what we are offering for that particular semester. And before you graduate, you also need to complete your dissertation, design thesis dissertation. So for the teaching and learning mode for this semester, we will be doing a blended learning. For student subject, we will conduct it online. And for the crit session, crit 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. The final presentation and also the portfolio will be carried out face to face in UTM TL, and we will be using, oh, sorry, we'll be using our new facilities, okay, studio, our new studio, which has been completed the renovations, I think end of last year. So for the non-studio subject will be conducted 100% online because we do have two non-studio subject we are offering this semester. So this is the lecturers for the this semester. Get to know each one of them. For social culture panel 1, it will be led by Dr. Lan Pao Chu. Okay, and the academic panel is Dr. Tengku Intan Suraya. And our architect panel is architect interior designer Muhammad Faris Hilmi. And for panel 2, social culture will be led by myself, and will be our academic panel will be Dr. Izik, our moderator of today's event. And we also have our architects panel, which is architect Azan Sharawi. And for the urban, Dr. Nurul Azrin is the head of panels. Will be together with Dr. Sharifah Salwa, and also we are appointing architect Kian Su Ying as our architect panel for this urban. So we have quite a strong urban background over here because most of them is their PhD and their masters in urban. Okay, and then for the non-courses, I will be teaching the dissertation this semester, and also Architect Hanis Nazura will be teaching you guys on law and practice. Okay, so you can refer all the information, contact number, and so on for the class and so on in the schedule that has been distributed to all of you. So this is the subject offered, okay, yang melibatkan cohort. So cohort 9, nanti you all akan ambil PDC 1, social culture with me and Dr. Lang Pao Chung. And we have 1 repeaters, and also for design thesis 2, melibatkan cohort 8, ada 9 pelajar akan mengambil urban. And design thesis kita ada lebih kurang dalam 10 pelajar melibatkan cohort 7. The supervisor will be announced later by the thesis coordinator. And the dissertations also will be put together for this cohort 7 for the first time lah, lebih daripada 12 credit, but it is allowed since you guys are in the final semester. And law and practice will be taught by Architect Hanis Nazura melibatkan cohort 8 dan 9. Okay, so this is the beauty of our MArch program compared to other programs, okay, because we do have this practice studio and campus studio, where practice studio is happening during your working day, daripada hari Isnin, Monday up to Friday, and the campus studio will happen when you come to the UTM or virtually or physically, where we will be having this student and studio master to supervise you for the development of your project. So as you can see, this is the pedagogy of the campus studio and practice studio. Campus studio is where you will be having a session with us, where it's more on the intellectual design thinking, on theory, in relation to culture, environment, and so on. And the practice studio is like an atelier concept learning in partnership with office practice. So this is the distributions on the week, what is happening, grade 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 the FTA and also the portfolio. So this is an example of the reference letter for office supervisor. There's one of our students over there. And you will be your supervisor or your principals or whoever will be becoming co-supervisor will receive this appointment letter, and they need to fill in all those things. And this appointment will be given by semester, per semester. So this is an example of architects of crit log form that you need to fill in during the crit session, where the requirements is to have like 8 hours of crit progress, okay, a cumulative of 8 hours, and it consists of 5 elements. 3 of it is on the special study, internal and external planning, services by requirement. We also have on the structures and another one. Okay, so in terms of design studio structure, you will need to sit for or take the first three semester of the PTCs. Sorry. Where it is social culture, environment, and urban. And then you need to choose one to move them into the stage 2, where we call that as a thesis. So this is the distribution of PTCs. So about a reminder to all students, you must be alert with all the important dates and time about the course registration and pre-registration, about the cost fee and payment to Bendahari, and whatever things related to money, financial, and so on, you must refer to Bendahari because they have the correct and complete answer and so on. And then about the course withdrawal, you must be alert if you have intention to withdraw one of the courses and so on due to your pack time with the office and so on. So you must make sure you do that within the time given. If not, then there will be penalties imposed. And then you must be alert with the lecture schedules as well. And then the submission for assignments and tests, assessment, portfolio, and also examination. So for all these regulations, all the informations and so on, please use your official email that's been given to you, and you must keep yourself updated with current information and instructions. And you must also encourage to participate in the upcoming school activities. This will be posted from time to time in the WhatsApp group and also in our website. And you must also participate in architecture students competition organized nationwide. We do have yearly we have IDA. So hopefully this year we can see your visibility of your Master of Architecture offshore program in any competition. So I would like to re-announce again on the achievements, because this we have announced last Monday during our Open Day in Perdana program. But because we do have our new students, I hope that this sharing of achievement will inspire the new students, because as you can see, it is not impossible to achieve both achievements in your work and also in your study. So overall, for the semester, we do have quite a good statistic. Kedudukan baik sebanyak 21 pelajar dan ada 7 untuk semester 1 yang lepas. And the best designer for pre-thesis 3 is Nik Ahmad Munawar bin Nik Din, with the title of his pre-thesis is Jalan Besar Sustainable Food Center, with the grade received is A. And best overall students for pre-thesis for semester 1, 2021 and 2022, we have few numbers with their CGPA 4.0, which is Falik Amran Ahmad Kamarul Bahrain, Lu Chun Wei, Aisyah Atikah binti Khalid, Muhammad Faiz bin Zakaria, Muhammad Norzid bin Arba'in, Nik Ahmad Munawar bin Nikdin, and we have also Wong Hu Mun with a GPA of 4.0. Wong Hu Mun, you are currently working with DP Architect, am I right? Is that okay? And also for the best designer thesis is Muhammad Fadli Izzat bin Ahmad Khairin, with the title of Ketak Art Culinary Center Depot, and then the supervisor is Dr. Sharifah Salwa, and grade received is A. And best overall for student thesis for semester 1, 2021-2022 is Arifah Nur binti Arifin with a GPA of 4.0 and CPA is 3.87. So if these people can do it, so it is not impossible for the rest to achieve the good achievement in your study as well. And not to forget, for our LAM Part 3 portfolio examinations, as you all know that this program is not yet activated. So we try to have our alumni for the examinations portfolio for Part 2 in a group. And we have conducted this last year in November yang melibatkan kohort 1 sehingga kohort 4 seramai 38 orang pelajar. Okay, pada 17 dan 18 November. And out of these 38, 31 has passed their part 2. Congratulations. While another 7, they need to sit for the stage 2 for the IDP. Okay. I think congratulations again to all the MArch offshore program. Thank you for your hardship. Thank you for believing us with this program, enrolling with this program. And we wish you all the best. And hopefully don't forget to start writing and fill in your logbook to sit for your part 3. I think that's all from me, Dr. Izik. So I pass back the floor to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Architect Nur Shahida, for the program overview. All right, now it's time for our official launching of our MArch offshore program website, led by Dr. Lang Pao Chung. And after that, let us have a break with a montage of architecture corporate video. So, Dr. Lang Pao Chung, are you there? Okay, Dr. Lang Pao Chung is ready. So, the room is yours, Dr. Lang Pao Chung.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Izik. Okay, yeah, very good days to everyone. Okay, as you can see here, this is our Google site for our MR Persisale or offshore programs. So from the official's offshore program webpage, you can see that there are rows of tabs at the top of it. So those are about the guidebooks and the teaching methods and studio updates, okay, and exhibitions of the students' previous works, and our staff profile and so forth. So at the first page, you can see that all the latest announcement about our schools. It's not only just offshore program details, like others than, like, for example, the achievements, okay, then the registrations, okay, then some of the guidelines, okay, and the school's event. So you can find here. So we will update from time to time on the first page of the official webpage. Okay, for the second one, for new students or potential students that, okay, anyone that you interested to knows more about the admissions of this program, or even you have friends that who asking about the admission, so you can find here. So even though this is link that directly linking to the our Persisale's programs web page, but at least you can see that the summaries, okay, of the page here. So you can click, you can see that there's hand here when you hover at the jetpack. So it will direct you to the official web page of our UTM's offshore programs page. Then you can know that what you should prepare and you can apply directly from here. Okay, so back to our Persisale page. So other than that, you can see that the registration kit, the registration link, and programs that offered by UTM offshore program, other than MArch Persisale, you can find it here as well. Okay, so the third one probably will be the guidebooks. Okay, once you have registered as a student, especially the students who are currently have joined Persisale, yeah, you should follow closely, okay, what is have been stated as our studio's regulations and guides and so forth. So all have been written clearly over here. So you, as a student, you should check here when you do submissions and so forth. All right. So the third one, probably this one will be the teachings and learnings method, and sorry, as well as the overviews of the course structures, okay, of the programs. Then we also having the sorry, yeah. So for current students, you can check on here, okay, on all the schedules, okay, and every time you do the submissions, okay, the past recordings of and the slides and so forth and quick comments, okay, you can find here. So this one is only accessible to the students who have registered, okay. Then teaching and learning methods as an overview, you can see that like what Architect Shah have mentioned just now, how we as a MR Persisale we conducting the studio. It's not only just the studio creates, okay, in the campus, but we also conduct the office studios as mentioned. So you guys have to fill in the logbook later on and how's the create being conducted and so forth. Okay. Then this one, exhibitions, yeah, as I mentioned just now, you not only can see the offshore program students work, okay, semesterly, but undergrad students and Perdana students. So as an archive for the students to refer. Okay, then next will be have our the updates for our staff. So you can see that their expertise, okay, and the positions as well as the CVs, okay, for each of our staff, teaching staff, okay, and management staff. So facilities, yeah, for Persisio, because we are based in UTM Kuala Lumpur, so you can see that and find out the overviews of the campus maps as well as the facilities which have been offered. Yeah, we have just finished and completed. We get our new building blocks. Okay, for Persisio, I hope that we can going to officiate or use this. Okay, during our first trips later. Okay, so you can find it here. It's inside our campus, UTM campus. And yeah, this one is probably will be one of the new events that we collaborate with SIGAS on the fund collaborations as the Fund for Excellence in UTM Architecture Schools. So you may share it with your superiors as well as some of the publics regarding to the supports. It's not only just on monetaries, but maybe collaborations through events. Yeah, we are welcomes on that. Okay, then we have some featured stories, like for example, what we have done. Okay, not only just study and doing studio works, but in the same time, okay, we have lots of interesting and beneficial events, like for example, our Ampang Great Streets by Dr. Sharifa yearly. Okay, so this has happened annually with DBKL. Then we also have lots of the webinars that happens from time to time. So you can subscribe to our Facebook page, or maybe yeah, you can also check on the updates from this page as well. So you can see all the updates and events by our research groups, by our schools, and by our staffs that collaborate with industries as well as the other entities like the offices, okay, and so forth. Yeah, so you can find it here and follow closely. All are free. Basically, we have share the links directly to the WebEx and I mean to the Facebook. So you can just click on that during that time. Then you can find the webinars. Okay, it's all free. Then we have students launch as well. Okay, so from here, yeah, over the years, before the pandemic, okay, we have all the physical kinds of the events happen. So you can find it here. Yeah, we used to have our advisory visit by Lembaga as well, which happened in 2018. Okay, so you can see that how your friends, seniors, okay, from batch 1 to 4, okay, they have preparing all the exhibitions. Yeah, so this is how we conducting our quiz. Okay, yeah, during the pandemics, but hopefully after April we manage to get back to the physical activities again for our studios. Yeah, and this is how our previous students, okay, even the current students are going to meet up your boss, okay, and your office supervisors for the quiz, and you're going to fill in the logbook. So these are the process of having the quiz, okay, and these are some of the open quiz and how this is the class happens. And we used to have the case study visits before and discussions for the outdoor classes and so forth. Yeah, okay, so you can find it here. Then we have the program feedback as well. Okay, yeah, this program is a unique program. So we got the employers' recommendations. Like this one, we got from TR Hamza and Young about the recommendations. Okay, of our programs. Okay, then we have some of the students' feedbacks. Okay, that are I think going to refresh back later. Yeah, I think that's about it of our official web page of Persisale. So for publics, yeah, you are free to access as well. Okay, for certain stuff, which you can see that how's the overviews of our programs, yeah, conducted. Okay, then if you are interested, you are welcome to join through clicking this one, new admissions. Okay, or you can PM me or architect Noor Sahida and any of our lecturers over here to ask about these programs. All right. Yeah, I think that's about it. Over to you. Thank you, Dr. Izzy.
Okay, thank you, Dr. PC, for the elaboration on our MArch offshore program website. So now, Dr. PC, you might want to play the montage
All
for
right.
the architectural corporate video.
Okay,
So
thank
enjoy,
you.
everybody.
UTM Architecture School is a community.
UTM Architecture School is creative.
UTM Architecture School is innovative.
UTM Architecture School is multicultural.
UTM Architecture School is empowered.
UTM Architecture School is fun.
UTM Architecture School is artistic.
UTM Architecture School is educational.
I love UTM Architecture School. I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School. I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School.
I love UTM Architecture School. This is UTM Architecture School. We love architecture!
Join us and be among the best.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. PC. So I think we are almost at the end of our session. To the students, don't forget to fill in the attendance link. Don't forget to fill the attendance form in the chat box section, and the link has been given in the chat box section as well. And I would like to say thank you to our guest speaker, Architect Elena Rahman. I believe she already left our room because she got matters to attend to. And also our invited alumni, Mr. Yuzairul Azwan Yusof and Mr. Nick Muhammad Muaz Nick Yusof for joining the session today. Thank you very much, and not to forget my colleagues for the involvement today, and also to the MArch Offshore students. Now it's time for our final photo session together. To all the participants in this room, especially the students, please open up your camera and crack a smile, as this is going to be posted in our website, our Facebook, and all our social media channel. So Dr. PC might want to lend me a hand to take the screenshot now. Okay, so please open up your cameras, everybody. Okay, Dr. PC, anytime if you're ready.
All right. Yeah, still waiting students to switch on their cams. Okay, are you ready?
Okay, PC.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So next page. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, all right. I think that's about it. Thank you, Dr. Izzy.
Okay, thank you, Dr. PC from the Honorable UTM IT team. Okay, so with this, I end the session today with UTM Seni Bina song, Seni Bina Warisan Kita, and finally UTM official song, Keunggulan Terbilang. So thank you very much, everyone, for the involvement, and I'll see you guys some other time. Goodbye. Have a good lunch, and Assalamualaikum. Goodbye, everyone.
Now, no man is free who is afraid. And he is afraid until he has developed the certainty that comes of a creative life and a creative role in life by way of art, religion, and science.
Demi menyambut perjuangan, kau dan aku sini bertemu, memulakan satu era baru. Kita berbeda, kehidupan kita tidak serupa, tapi tujuan adalah sama, untuk Tuhan dan manusia. Seni bina dan warisan kita, bersama bentuk bersama, kita adalah satu legenda. Rasa berubah, untuk selanjutnya tak sedang membuka. Apakah kita harus terus ikut tanpa punyai pegangan hidup? Realiti harus diakui, kita selama ini jaga identiti. Sampai bilakah kan terus begini? Selepas kita ada generasi seni bina dan warisan kita, bersama bentuk bersama, kita adalah satu legenda. Seni bina dan warisan kita, bentuk bersama, kita adalah satu legenda. Seni bina dan warisan kita, bersama bentuk bersama, kita adalah satu legenda. Kita adalah satu legenda. Kita adalah satu legenda.
Thank you, everyone. Oh, so
Thank you everyone. Just an announcement. Oh, ada lagu UTM. Okay.
yeah, we have another last song.
Sorry, tak perasan.
menjulang, keunggulan terbilang, kemacu jaya kita usaha UTM puncak letaknya, martabat keilmuan, cendekiawan beriman, cekal bersabar takwa, menara cita-cita, kami anak kandung UTM ikut bernaung, usaha kami bukti cintamu, jika bersana ilmu, keazaman, perjuangan, takwa dan iman, ke arah kecemerlangan, pengajaran penyelidikan, penulisan perundingan, perkhidmatan kepada watak, di sini kami berdiri, setia pada janji, bermaruah berbudi bahasa, UTM sanjungan bangsa, UTM sanjungan bangsa.
Alright, thank you so much, everyone. We have wrapped this session for the Open Day MRch Architecture Offshore Program. So for workplace, Dr. Azrin, PTCs to Urban, you can click on the link posted in the chat box. And for TCs and also new student, new cohort student, please stay in this Webex.